Zion, Zion, Zion. Boy, oh boy, what do we even say about Zion? Zion was supposed to be one of the new phenoms to come into the NBA. I know it seems like a lifetime ago, but a few years ago, 3-4 years ago, Zion Williamson was the most hyped NBA player probably since LeBron James. And why? You had a 6'6" guy that weighed about, 260, 270, that could literally jump out of the gym. It was absolutely something we have never seen. We've seen players, stocky guys like Charles Barkley, but not with this level of explosive. Zion was so explosive that he was literally bursting out of his shoes when he would try to make a move on a court. He played with that amount of torque and ferocity, right? So when Zion came into the NBA, there were so many high expectations, but one of the things that a lot of people were wary of was Zion Williamson's weight. A lot of people were concerned about his weight. They were like, this is way too much weight to be carrying on that frame, given the type of sports you play. A sport that involves you jumping up and down, and taking all of that weight, dropping it back on the floor. That's going to put a tremendous amount of stress on your knees. A lot of people said this, Shannon Sharp. So many people said this. And once Zion got into the NBA, we found out that he was having issues staying healthy, right? That was the number one thing. And a lot of that, frankly, was being attributed to his weight. Now, in terms of his basketball game, Zion Williamson was arguably the most impressive young star in the entire NBA. Let me give you his numbers in year two. In year two, in 61 games for the New Orleans Pelicans, he was averaging 27 points. I mean, think about this, 27 points per game in his second year on 61.1% shooting. I mean, that's madness. Shooting 29% from the three, 70% from the free throw line, with 7 rebounds a game, 3.7 assists, only 2.7 turnovers, while getting you 0.9 in steals and 0.6 in blocks. Zion was on beast mode. But unfortunately, that year he only played 61 games in his second year, and in his third year, which was just his prior season, unfortunately, Zion Williamson missed he played 29 games, so he missed 50 about 53 games or something like that. 53 games or something like that. So he missed a lot of games. And then what happened? We heard that he was rehabilitating, and then there was some rumors out there that he wasn't getting along with the general manager of the New Orleans Pelicans, and when we're hearing that Zion wanted to play in a bigger market like New York City, all of these different things. And then throughout the rehab process towards the end, we then found out that he had finally completed it. So we then listened to a soundbite from him where he said that physically he's good, but mentally he's not in the right space. And a lot of us were like, bro, what? Like, and what? You getting paid all this money, you're not in the right space? You better get yourself in the right, what you mean you're not? So you're in the right space to collect them checks, but you're not in the right space to go out there and play? So a lot of us kind of give him a side eye. And then what happened? Week or two ago, all hell broke loose on the internet because Zion took it upon himself to share a beautiful moment between himself and a young lady that he was expecting a child from. The people that cared clapped. I didn't know, so I just observed it. And then shortly after that, a lady by the name of Mariah Mills, she jumps on Twitter and she goes on a tirade. Apparently, this was one of Zion's love interests. And then another one came out, and then another one came out. But this particular lady, she kept going. She kept roasting. She kept toasting. And then at a particular point, some of us out here, and I got to give the credit to Too Raw for TV, he brought up the point. He was like, wait a minute. What if the roles were reversed here? What if this was a male adult star saying this about a female athlete? Would everyone be so quiet about it? And then I started to think, but wait a minute, this is bullying. Why isn't anybody saying anything about this? And then the accusations just started to become even more disgusting and more disgusting. She was basically putting all their business out there in the street. And she was acting like as if they were married. This is the part I didn't, were y'all married? What's all of this anger for? Were y'all married? Were y'all engaged? So what are you so upset about? What are you so upset? No, wait. Are you wait. Are you a saint? Are you a construction worker? We see your work that you put out there, that I'm commenting on, that you put out there. So what's all of this self-righteousness about? And then she starts posting all this information, sensitive information, talking about money and blah, 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 blah. Then it kept getting worse and it kept getting worse. Even Jay Williams was like, if I'm him, I'm getting a restraining order. I said on one of those shows, I'm like, Zion just needs to cease communication. Just let the person talk. Just don't send any messages. Don't say anything. Then I noticed she started involving the team. And I'm like, what does the team have to do with you and Zion? Why are you involved in his workplace? I'm like, what are you trying to do? Get this guy thrown out of the NBA? And then she made another outlandish threat. And then finally, Twitter said, you know what? Enough is enough. We're suspending your account. Now it's over. Now it's over. Her account has been suspended, and we're no longer going to hear from her, which puts the focus back on Zion. Zion needs to really get his mind right, because it seems like Zion has kind of lost his way in this new NBA world. And this was something that Kendrick Perkins on ESPN actually alluded to. That Zion needs to get his head tied on properly. That he seems to have lost his way, right? As a person that's not playing basketball and people have all of these questions about your way, you need to be more focused on your craft, bro. You can't have these type of stories coming out about you. Now, do these things happen? Absolutely. It happens every single day. But why are you the only one that they're talking about like this? It's a bad look. At least some of those guys that they're discussing, at least they're out there playing. In your case, you're not. So to me, I think it's a very, very bad look. And now it's gone to the point where the New Orleans Pelicans are now talking about possibly trading Zion. I mean, think about it. They're now talking about possibly moving on from Zion. The Zion Williamson, that when he came into the NBA, he was the best thing since sliced bread. Now, even the New Orleans Pelicans are like, you know what? We're tired of this guy. Now, some people have kind of gone back and forth on whether or not they should keep him or not, because at this point it's a gamble. But whenever teams begin to look at your seriousness as a professional, staying in shape is literally your job. And if you guys don't remember, they actually put in a lot of provisions in his contract that was directly tied to his weight issues. So this is a very, very serious matter. So to find yourself embroiled in this type of madness online doesn't look well on your character. It doesn't bode well for you. So to me, man, I think Zion really needs to find a way to self-correct, get the ship right. I mean, steer the ship back in the correct direction, and really, really focus on his career and ensure that whenever we talk about him, we're talking about his basketball game and not because of these crazy, crazy stories that are circulating all throughout the internet. So these are my thoughts. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about the Zion situation? Do you think the Zion is going to be able to get his head on right, get his weight under control, and really, take the next step in his career? Do you think that, listen, these things it's not a good sign?